I've been doing granular washes for 40 years, 40 years. It is what really attracts me to watercolor more than anything else. We're taking advantage of the transparency of the medium, and that's a special quality in watercolor, and I just love it. I always have. All right, everybody. Martha's putting up a few paintings that I've done over the years that were utilizing the concept that we're going to talk about today, which is granulation. And a couple of technical things about granulation that are misunderstood sometimes. There are pigments that we call granular, sedimentary colors. And they're wonderful, but I'm not limiting myself to sedimentary colors. Any colors, the way I'm utilizing them, I will use any of the pigments I have in the granulation process. It's manganese blue and raw sienna and fuchsia, wild fuchsia or opera, depending on what brand you use. Now, that sounds like a formula, and I want to caution you right away about that. And I speak from experience here. I've discovered early on those three colors were great for creating granular washes. And so I thought, man, I needed a formula, and I finally found one. And so for the next year, all I did was paint paintings with manganese blue, raw sienna, and fuchsia. And I'd call up Chief Joe and say, Joe, I need 20 tubes of manganese blue, 20 of raw sienna, 20 of fuchsia. And that's just about it. I don't need anything else. So I'm going to show you and talk to you more about moving out of that formula very soon, very quick. About the easiest granular wash when we come in is to, I'm having to reach over this a little bit. Notice how much pigment I'm using. We're coming in and we're just bringing this manganese blue across the page. And while it's nice and wet, and I got it nice and wet, I'm going to reach into fuchsia, and it makes a gorgeous violet. You're going to like it. Just very, very striking and very pleasing. About the easiest way to create a granular wash, just place it. That's what granulation is right there. And then I'll come in and we'll add a little bit of raw sienna to this. And as that goes down the page, it pulls together, it blends together. I don't know if you can see, but it's moving, and that's the key here. And I'll talk to you about some other keys. I do try to save a little light or white, and we'll just bring this in. So in a nutshell, at its, and you don't have to baby it too much. And maybe we want it just a bit darker at the top. So I'm mixing that, maybe bringing this in a little bit stronger there. And it blends down the page. So in a nutshell, that's what a granular wash is. If you're looking to take that next step on your watercolor journey, and this is the kind of content you're looking for, please consider subscribing to our Patreon watercolor channel. It's just $10 a month, $120 a year, cancel anytime. Each month, you'll begin receiving relevant, usable watercolor information. Please go to donandrewstudio.com for complete details. Thank you. Manganese blue, little grade down. We'll come in and just want to utilize that concept to show you what possibilities there might be for subject matter. So we'll let that blend. Let that turn into and let that blend into this. And let that all create granular washes. Touching. Another thing I do is, now that I've got this shape here, I'll come up top here and place a different color and let that blend down as well. And that can be pleasing. I want to slow that down. We just wet it down, and it right away, there's an opportunity here for a little light to happen. I didn't plan it, but I'm trying to watch the page. And we'll touch something else into that here. Maybe a bit of green. Placing it in and letting that blend together on the page. A couple of darks. Let's the page is nice and wet, so it just mixes itself on the page. And we'll just let that blend. Should I leave that white? I'm going to, because I don't have time to decide. And so this granular wash that we created is quite satisfying now that we're bringing in some simple subject matter and creating granular washes in the middle values and darks with those washes. So here, if you can recall, this was our first wash. We started with the manganese blue, fuchsia, and raw sienna, and just did very horizontal back and forth, and gradually letting one thing change into the next and letting it blend down on the page.